Video games have a unique ability to evoke emotions. The interactive nature of the medium allows for our emotions not just to be a reaction to the experience, but to contribute to it. Which is why it's so disappointing that so many games want to just be fun. Even games that decide to broaden their emotional scope often fall back on tricks of other mediums, for example, cutscenes emulating film and television. I guess that's why my playthrough of Inside from Playdead Studios was such an unusual experience. I felt lost, confused, even a little scared at times, but never fun. To be clear, I enjoyed the hell out of the game, and the reason why was its willingness and ability to put me out of my normal gaming comfort zone. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about how Inside accomplishes that. At its core, Inside's impact comes from the game's balance between control and aesthetic. The look and feel of the title diverge in pretty significant ways if you're paying attention. The game's aesthetic has an ominous dreamlike quality, a heavy use of light and shadow along with sparse, deliberate use of color. This world is distinctly other, and while Playdead's first game, Limbo, employs similar techniques, I think Inside improves upon the idea with its 2.5D look, allowing you to peer deeper into the world. Conversely, the game's control and physics feel more grounded in reality. You are a little boy, or at least something similar to that, and as such, your movement options feel like something a child could reasonably do. Now, in something like a Mario game, this would feel restrictive, but Inside crafts its puzzles and challenges around these limitations. It's this balance of you having a character grounded in real-life physics existing in this grand, dark world that puts the player in a headspace that is particularly receptive to emotional reaction. You feel like you're the real person in this other world. It's from this base Playdead built a game comprised of some of our most primal fears and anxieties. From being alone in a dark forest, to being submerged into the murky underwater depths, these environments play at something deep inside of us. Maybe that's why they call it Inside. Anyways, I think what really drove home the importance of the aforementioned balance is the character animations. Early on, I noticed that when you moved your character into different situations, their body language would change. When there were enemies in the background, they would automatically crouch under cover. When they were being chased, they would break into a sprint. The one that stands out particularly, though, for me, is there's this one scene where there's a line of zombies marching in the distant background. I saw them, and stared at them for a bit because of how unusual the situation was. Then when I looked down, the character avatar was staring too. That's when it hit me. This game had made me feel like I was the character instead of just manipulating an avatar. Now, there's plenty to be said about these techniques within the context of the game's wordless narrative that I could theorize on, but I'll leave that to somebody else. But for now, I'll just say that's a pretty remarkable accomplishment for a game. So in conclusion, I'd say Inside isn't a fun game, but it was a great time I'd recommend. What did you guys think of Inside? Got any good theories on the plot? Any other games you can think of that are exceptionally immersive? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, later days.